Hi everyone. This is order of the week. Actually, this is the third part of the video for this week. This week, Monday was 22nd of March 2021. And this is the third part because I actually finished the second part. Actually, was yesterday, to be honest. So that's why I don't want to mention the days I'm filming, which I normally do, because I actually filmed it yesterday, the first and second part. But what happened is that I did say on the second part of the video that I was having the feeling that I was forgetting something, and I finished because I couldn't think of anything else. However, as soon as I finished, as very, very often happens, I thought about a detail that I didn't mention, and it was very important on the overall discussion. And it's not something I planned to say and then forgot to mention, but it's something that it was in the back of my mind in the overall discussion, but I didn't highlight it, and I think it was important to highlight it as I, highlight other details to see the two sides of the discussion. Is there is two sides, maybe there is 200 sides, but the two sides that I can clearly see. What I was talking about in this video, in the first and second part of this video for this week, is about the protest that happened on Bristol. I think it was the 21st or the 22nd of March 2021. That has happened this week, or was on Sunday. Obviously, it was the end of last week. And I mentioned that 2 police officers were injured. I also mentioned that in the picture I could see was a police van on fire. I at some point remember like 2, but no, definitely there is no 2 vans on the picture at all. There is only 1 van. And the picture I'm talking about is the one in Metro on the papers on the 22nd, I think was. So anyone can see it probably as you look in Google, but looking closer to the picture, I don't think it was the police van that was on fire. It was a container just in front, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to be wrong, but at the same time I need to spread these things that I know or I think I know, and definitely I don't think I'm not 100% sure that was the police van on fire, but a container just in front. And anyone can see it, so you can verify is maybe I'm mistaken or So what I was talking about is that that protest was about against the laws that came into place after last summer 2020, after the movement of Black Lives Matter and damage to property, to monuments. Let's be clear, to monuments, there is different type of property. Some can bring more risks to other people than others. Obviously, any damage, any violence can bring risks to other people, so I'm not denying that at all, but some properties will be more risks than others, like a damage to a building will be more risks than damage to 2 or 3 meters monument. So yeah, size matters here, I suppose, but sorry, like that I didn't mean to make a joke, but just kind of way, but well, size matters, but Black Lives matters too, maybe it will be the full joke, is we have to make one. And then what I was saying is that law came after that because they wanted to stop, I suppose that was the idea, to stop damage to property and violence, which is fair enough. However, it's important to remember that that was already a crime. That was already a crime, It's not like, oh my God, we need to do something about that. It was already a crime, So obviously the achievement for this new law, it comes further than the crime of violence and property damage per se, It comes into an extended crime, it comes an extended charges related to protest. And I suppose still the main goal here, I suppose, I want to think that the people that make these laws in their mind is clearly they try to stop any violence or property damage. However, there is more other things as well, like in this law, apparently, I don't know how that was expressed on the law, but it says that police intervention to stop the protest, well, not to stop the protest, but police intervention could happen without violence or property damage actually happening. So, but for the potential, I suppose they will reflect somehow on the rules, I suppose. However, this is very big. This is very big because I'm not clear in that. Who is clear on that? Maybe the police that are intervening are very, very, very clear, but maybe not. So who is gonna be clear of when they can intervene and when not? Which that means that they can intervene anytime, because nobody's clear when can intervene, or because they are allowed to. That means that a demonstration can be stopped at any time, and it can be stopped with a police force exercise, So this is a big, big thing, and the implications of that will be that protests, they are already very difficult to organize and to attend, will be more difficult, because what this could mean, I always like to go on the worst case scenario, because it's possible, and to be honest, when the worst case scenario is possible, it normally is you allowed to happen, it will happen sooner or later. And for me, for my understanding, what this could happen is that people attending a protest will be very scared, because before as I say, property damage and violence was a crime. However, now, because of police intervention, to be able to decide or to underpin an action as a potential violent or potential property damage without actually happening, means that anyone present in the protest can be detained and charged with under police intervention, even though maybe they have not been involved at all in an action of violence or property damage. So I always like to be to get the worst case scenario of what that could means, and I think that I am right to do that, because my experience is that if the worst case scenario is possible, why is not going to be happen, So that's what happens, and This happening on the 22nd, as I said, 21st, 22nd of March 2021 in Bristol. I did mention there was 2 police injured. However, the detail that I forgot to mention, or I just overpass because I didn't plan to mention either. I thought maybe in my mind the 2 police officers injured was very highlighted because I read that day or the day before. But however, these demonstrations are a response to demonstrations that happened a week before or a week and a half, maximum 2 weeks anyway. It was about the vigil for Sarah. Sarah was, sorry, I don't know the surname, I apologize. It was a demonstration with someone about violence, gender violence, and it was... I don't know if it was mostly female. I think in the picture I saw was mostly female in the demonstration, but I'm not entirely sure, so I'm not gonna make gender difference without the knowing the details about it. But it was definitely in the picture that showed the front of the demonstration was a lot ladies, female people, and they were a lot. It was the critic in that demonstration was the police force intervention, and the use of force was disproportional, say the critics. And this happened in Bristol was the response to that. And back in Sarah's vigil demonstration, there were a lot of injuries to people attending the demonstration from police. And so I forgot to say that, and I thought I need to mention it because the overall discussion could change the tone very much if we only show the injuries in one side, rather than when it actually happened in 2 sides, people that attend demonstration and police officers. And I definitely will not apologize police attacks, definitely not. They are not there for that reason. However, people that are attending a demonstration, they are not there either to be hurt either. We need to remember that as well. And police, whoever is a police officer and is in charge to control moderate demonstration, need to remember that as well. People attending a protest are not there for being injured by a police, okay? So it's important to be clear and to highlight both sides of the discussion. Again, this new law came from last summer, the 2020, after the movement of Black Lives Matter, and I want to highlight something that I already mentioned and I highlight, but I want to highlight it again because I don't want to be what happened in that movement last summer to be only one-sided. What I want to say, and I say already in the second part of the video, is that yes, those people damage property. They were monuments, as I say. We need to be sure what kind of property. And I'm not saying this is okay because it's only monuments. I'm not saying that, definitely not. But obviously, I will say that whatever damage is different, and the risks are different. And they were monuments, so that's the only reason I want to mention, because that's what they were. However, these monuments were linked to someone that in the history have been connected to slavery. And to have a monument of someone in the past connected to slavery, it's kind of, it could be taken, but some people, it can be taken as an exhibition of racism, So just to leave it at that, I'm not apologizing the damage to monuments, but we need to be making difference what type of property, what the reasons why, and the risks of doing that violence. We need to make all this different. What happened with this new law, like in every law, what happened is that they put all cases as a standard. So which means that everyone that have not anything to do on that back to summer 2020 could be now with this law charged with a sentence of prison for 10 years. So we need to make a difference because, that's one thing. And I'm sure some people say, oh, well, they knew what they were doing. They were throwing a monument down to the floor, Yes, it's true. This is true. However, how many times have you seen a monument with a traffic cone on their head? Because a group of people were very, have been out and partying and found that funny. Will they then get in 10 years as well of prison? Because as I say, the law says damage to property, Maybe that is not per se damage to property, But imagine, I don't know, people that on the climb to the monument's head maybe break something, So it's what I mean with this, and it should make difference. But with this sentence, it doesn't seem to make difference, Now any break-in can take you to jail to prison for 10 years, So it's worrying that that they put a law to charge with 10 years of prison without really making difference of the level of violence or the level of damage or the behavior or the acts. It's just like anyone that is underpinned in this category automatically can be charged with 10 years of prison, and that's a strong action, legal action. So I think it's something definitely to be considered. And what I mean with this is that I definitely understand why was the protest and the movement on Bristol, and no apologizing violence, but I do understand a peaceful demonstration against this new law, and I want to mention as well that I would like the movement for this for the demonstration in Bristol on the 22nd or the 21st, apologize for that, because I don't know the exact day. I would like to change the name. I know I shouldn't say that maybe, but I have to. I feel I have to, because we are reivindicating the right to freedom of speech and the freedom to exercise, to attend a protest, because also I think I'm not sure I have mentioned is that putting in this worst case scenario, this new law, the overall risk for someone to attend a protest, because now you can be charged you can be charged by police, because it's their decision when to intervene without violence and and damage to actually happening, so they can intervene at any time and they can detain anyone at any time. So the risks are very high. So that's gonna mean that people are gonna be very scared to attend any protest. But also because it's maybe they weren't nothing to do with any damage or any violence. Is that happened, but they were in the same protest, they could also be charged, with major crime, And so I don't know if the people that are creating these laws are aware of that, but definitely it's something that, this law can bring, and need to be considered, definitely. So yeah, but at the same time, I definitely agree with the right to protest and the freedom of speech, and I would like to protest to be possible and not only allowed, because they're gonna say, I know the excuse of always a new law is that, oh well, you know, you are still allowed to, you're still allowed to, is you cannot do it because you are scared. You very well know that it's not, you are not allowed to, you know. And I don't think that is just without realize, you know, you realize that, you know, is you tell me that I can do something, but it's so difficult that it's not going to happen. You know that is stopping that, you know, because the consequences are so high and so strong that it's going to stop people from protesting. So definitely, I agree with and I will, you know, revindicate this. I can revindicate from here. I will revindicate the right for freedom of speech and protest peacefully. And I would like to have in these demonstrations and this new movement, which the name is Kill the Bill, to have a different name, to be honest, because we are promoting peaceful demonstration. I'm sure the people that make this name, I'm sure they are promoting peaceful demonstration as well. They just maybe just want to a name that calls attention, and it worked for me, to be honest. When I saw the name, I thought, oh, what's going on? What is happening? But again, at the same time, I think it's a very it's not the most appropriate name for what we would like to achieve, you know, which is a peaceful, the right to peaceful, you know, protest. So yes, I think that's everything. In the same time, I don't want to be that the last thing, you know, is gonna change the tone of the overall discussion. I think the overall discussion and summary is that this new law is gonna make protests very, very difficult for people to attend it or organize it or reivindicate. It does threat freedom of speech by indirect effect as well. And I think that need to be considered. And I'm not gonna say anything else because my memory is running out in my phone and I don't have more time, so I'm gonna leave it here. So just to say, be safe, be well, and I see you soon. Bye.